Central Utah is home to a remarkable energy project. Conceived in the 1970s, developed with cooperation from dozens of diverse energy consumers, operated for decades at high levels of efficiency and environmental responsibility, a reliable provider of low-cost electricity to power purchasers, and a major contributor to Utah's economy. This is the Intermountain Power Project. Located in Millard County, Utah, IPP commenced operations in 1986. Its twin coal-fueled units generate enough electricity to supply approximately 1.5 million homes throughout the West. The project consists of much more than an electricity generating station. It is located on a major regional energy corridor, owns and operates two major transmission systems, owns substantial land holdings and water rights, and has excellent access to rail and pipeline transportation networks. Because of the foresight of IPP's founders, the project is positioned to continue as a major supplier of energy for today and tomorrow.
The Intermountain Power Agency consists of 23 Utah municipalities. In addition, we have 6 rural electric cooperatives, 6 Southern California participants, and 1 investor-owned utility. To bring all of those purchasers together requires an extraordinary amount of cooperation. And cooperation amongst the purchasers is very key to the success of a project of this type. Long-term contracts have been key in assisting this project with its long-term success, allowing purchasers who signed contracts in the late 70s to be committed to this project for essentially 40 years have allowed the project to have a long-term view amongst the purchasers, and that energy that has come from the entitlements under those contracts have played very well into their resource plans.
The project's equivalent availability and capacity factors, measurements of how often the generating units can be run and how fully they are utilized when online, are regularly 5 to 10 percentage points higher than the national averages. Meanwhile, because the project has invested in extensive environmental controls, sulfur dioxide and mercury emissions have consistently been among the lowest for coal-fueled power plants across the nation.
In our normal operating statistics, year after year, have been above average in all categories. We typically run in the upper 90s on our availability and lower 90s on our capacity factor. So this year we were quite a bit lower because of our generator problem. And we have been a leader in the industry in all categories throughout our history.
IPP consistently achieves high operating results through wide-ranging programs of preventative maintenance and continuous improvement. These programs utilize the project's skilled workforce to focus on systems that commonly fail in other large coal-fueled power plants.
IPP's reliability over the years has been due to a couple of major components. One is the design and build of the units. They were built for reliability with a lot of redundant equipment, as well as our operating and maintaining over the years. We have extensive maintenance, preventive maintenance and maintenance programs in place to ensure reliability. And the project, the owners and participants have been willing to make the finances available to make that happen. So the place has been well maintained over the years.
In fiscal 2012, the project encountered an equipment failure that was very uncommon in other large coal-fueled power plants. A connector in the Unit 1 generator catastrophically failed, leading to a 151-day outage for repairs.
The generator failure was definitely an unusual event, and the reason being because we had both of our generators, Unit 1 and Unit 2, were rebuilt the previous year. The repair work was justified and the expenses budgeted to improve the long-term reliability. So this was a totally unexpected event where we only were able to run 8 months, which made it the more troublesome for us because we expected another 25 to 30 year runtime out of this. Yeah, with the exception of the generator problem on Unit 1, both units have been running well. Our shutdown rate was the best we've had for years, and in fact, Unit 1 and Unit 2 have both been running over a year without a shutdown of any kind except the generator problem.
Consistent, long-term operation of IPP has made the project an economic engine for Utah. More than $560 million in direct tax payments have been made in the state over the life of the project so far. A report authored by the Utah Foundation concluded that IPP, through a multiplier effect, makes an average annual contribution of $866 million in economic activity to Utah, providing 4,600 non-farm jobs and $222 million in household earnings. Those contributions are worth protecting in a world where energy resources and energy markets are changing.
Starting today with renewal efforts and activities to extend the project life beyond 2027 is not too early. When planning for baseload facilities, to integrate those into resource plans, it's important that we have a good concept of a project going forward and allowing ourselves time to plan those resources, how they will work, how they will integrate, how they will benefit the end users. The time to start all of that is sooner rather than later. Baseload facilities take lots of planning and lead time. 15 years that remain in the contracts at IPP is not a long time in planning these resources.
IPP's long-term power purchase agreements, secured in the 1980s, are in force through 2027, providing for the continued use of coal to generate electricity into the next decade. Decisions about the plant configuration after 2027, however, are being made as electricity markets are changing fundamentally. Dramatically increased environmental regulatory demands on coal are changing the cost structure of coal-fueled electricity. Additionally, Southern California municipalities that have historically purchased most of IPP's electricity are now prevented by California state law from purchasing coal-fueled electricity after their current long-term contracts expire.
Beginning in 2009, IPA and our operating agent, the Los Angeles Department of Water and Power, began a series of discussions, a strategic plan for IPP going forward. We have employed engineering firms to help us with planning needs and concepts that would utilize the vast resources and assets that we have under contract at IPA in an efficient and a full-use manner to benefit our purchasers. Planning for long-term baseload energy facilities such as Intermountain requires a lot of planning and design, financing, construction concerns that are brought to bear in extending the benefits of this project well into the future. We have an opportunity today that's been presented by IPA and its major purchaser, the Department of Water and Power in Los Angeles, to renew contracts in the project beyond the expiration of our current contracts, which end in 2027. We're ahead of the curve in undertaking this effort, and we want to ensure that our purchasers can plan for their future by renewing their contracts today in IPP.
The future configuration of the Intermountain Power Project depends on what sources of electricity consumers want to buy. In order to provide IPP with the flexibility to offer electricity from resources other than coal, a series of steps need to be taken. The Utah Legislature acted in 2012 to amend the Utah Interlocal Cooperation Act and the Electric Power Facilities Act. Now, the 23 Utah municipal members must amend the IPP organization agreement, and all 36 power purchasers must adopt the second amendatory power sales contract. These steps would create the flexibility to develop additional facilities, such as natural gas-fueled generators at the site. Opportunities to participate in any new developments would be offered to all current participants in the future if any projects go forward.
This project was founded in a spirit of cooperation. We took various elements from Utah and California, put them together in a common project and a common goal. And it has worked beyond our expectations. It has worked extremely well. It has now formed the basis for a spirit to go forward with another leap of faith and extend this project for another 50 years beyond 2027, where we can work together and we can mutually provide the needs, the generation, the service from this project, utilizing its tremendous facilities in that same spirit of cooperation and benefit for the future. We now have an opportunity to renew that partnership going forward for more decades into the future.
The Intermountain Power Project, energy for today, and with planning and cooperation tomorrow.